and welcome to Between the Bells. My guest today is Ms. Sheri Arnette. Sheri is the Assistant Superintendent over Curriculum and Instruction, which I always reverse, so got it right.
You did.
I'm Lisa Trail. I'm the Director of Communications for Murfreesboro City Schools. So let's talk a little bit about Sheri. I want to tell you, I was thinking when I was prepping for this, when did I first meet Sheri? So the first time I ever met you, I had just been hired, so about 15 years ago. I had to go into the Teacher of the Year's classroom and do a news story. And it was you.
It was
and
me.
You were teaching based off of math, based off of Skittles and an overhead projector. That lesson impacted me so much that I still remember it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that because I don't remember it, but I love a good projector with vis-a-vis.
You had a Skittles and a projector. None of the big stuff we have now, but you were doing a great job with it.
You're dating us, Lisa.
I know. And then everybody went back to their little seating area and did the same lesson using Skittles, and I was just so amazed that the kids did not eat them. And what grade was that?
That was fourth grade.
Fourth grade,
I
okay.
loved it.
Well,
so fun.
So that was my first introduction to Sheri Arnette.
I love it.
So I am so glad that you have joined the administration of Murfreesboro City Schools. And what have you actually, your roles have really changed over the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, so at first I was hired to work with new teachers as coordinator of teaching and learning. So I worked with 3rd through 6th grade teachers, and then that role kind of turned a little bit into an HR role. And so then I transitioned into human resources for a little bit with the recruiting and retention. And then from there, went back to the instruction department, and now I'm over all things instruction.
That is
I
so
love
cool.
It. Yeah.
And you're going to talk about this a little bit later, but your favorite thing right now is what? Back to the teaching, right?
Absolutely. Working with new teachers, it's one of my favorite things.
I knew that's what you were going to say. So, all right. So I have a whole series. Are you ready for this?
I hope
a series
so.
of questions for you. And let me just kind of clarify. In your role, you are in a lot of schools.
A lot of schools. And
So
I love
you are
it.
not sitting behind a desk.
No.
When we find you behind there, we're like, wow.
I'm doing something for Dr. Duke if I'm behind my desk.
All right. So with that said, what is something about your job that might surprise people?
Something that might surprise people is that my role actually involves ESP, that I am actually over ESP department working with them. So we've worked really hard to try to extend that school day, putting in really high quality enrichment. So that might be something that people don't know, that after the 8 to 4, I work with ESP.
So ESP is extended school program for
Absolutely.
us, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. As a working mom, could not have done it without it.
Yeah, it's a great program. It's something that I think when we think about Murfreesboro City Schools and something that sets us apart, I think we could always say ESP is something that sets us apart, because that is not something that's offered by all districts.
I agree. And it's our staff taking care of our children, just extending that day.
Yeah, and when we think about recruitment and retention, it's also a great way for us when we think about Middle Tennessee State University that's right here in our neighborhood. Those are our staff members, and hopefully we're growing them to go into the education field.
You know, last night we were at a big event. You and I both were there. I met a lady who is now in aviation, but she started at one of our schools at Bradley. Then she ended up coming back and taught ESP, and now her children are in our schools. And I'm like, okay, that's just an evolution. So
Absolutely. And for me personally, that's where I started. I actually worked ESP at Bradley Academy, 5:45 every morning.
Oh, wow.
Went in, then went to MTSU, and then came back in the afternoon. And that really is truly where I made that full commitment that I wanted to teach. And I don't think I would have ever done anything differently.
5:45 is a commitment in itself.
Isn't it, for a college student?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it is really nice to have those. So again, great on ESP. What's a project right now you're currently working on that you're excited about?
Well, we've mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah.
New teachers have now come back under the instruction department this year. And so I have the pleasure of working with all of our new teachers starting in July with new teacher orientation, and then meeting with them every other month. But between the months when we're not meeting, actually going into their classrooms and giving them feedback. And that is just, it brings me such joy.
Does it bring them joy?
I hope so. I hope they would
I'm
say
not
that.
sure I'd want you in my classroom.
Well,
I mean,
I'm kind.
Okay, well, good.
I'm kind, and I give great feedback. And I think one thing so far this year, we had our first meeting, and we talked about transitions and the importance of transitions and how we transition all the time in the classroom throughout the day. And I went into a teacher's classroom at Black Fox the week before fall break. And oh my goodness, she was implementing all that we had talked about. And you talk about just filling my bucket. It just filled my bucket.
Oh, that's cool.
Timer and everything.
I am telling you, transitions in a classroom, teachers have it best.
They do.
They plan by the minute, and that always surprises me.
Absolutely.
I'm a ish kind of girl, so I don't think I could ever do classroom. I mean, it's like 7:57.
Not with ish.
Not with ish. I'm an ish, and I'm telling you, it doesn't work in the classroom. They are timed,
They are.
and they do such a good job with those transitions.
They really do.
We were in a classroom I had 8 adults in a classroom at Discovery yesterday, and they were transitioning with us there. It was just like, excuse me. I'm amazed.
I love it.
Anyway, so all the different things going on. What do you do? Like when you get to your highest stress level, what do you do?
I will leave the office and I go visit schools. I visit schools and teachers and principals and assistant principals. I love it when they invite me. That gives me an excuse, to just kind of do something a little different. But anytime I can get in a classroom, I feel the stress level go down because I still just love it so much.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we talked about ESP and all the things that happen in our jobs. What's one of those things, another thing besides ESP that people don't realize maybe about your job and about your work day?
It might be that my role actually involves summer school, that in January we start planning for June summer school. So that might be something that you may not realize is part of my job as well.
I think that when we talk about our schools and how much they're utilized, that maybe that's surprising to people.
Oh, I agree.
Because we are in the building 12 months out of the year.
Yes.
And the only time we shut down buildings is to either clean them, paint them, do something maintenance-wise for them, and then the ESP children go to a different building. So I think that is probably something most people don't realize is how much we're utilizing them.
That's a really good point. I don't know that I had thought about it outside of ESP, but we do utilize our buildings a lot.
And then Parks and Rec comes in on Saturdays, uses them. I mean, we're these buildings are.
And they're great buildings to use, right?
They are.
They're great
They're
buildings.
really great. So if you could give one teacher credit for influencing you, and so you have to think, here you've been teaching how long?
Long time.
Okay,
long
time. You've been
34 years.
Ooh,
Long
sorry.
time. Yeah.
34 years. Teacher of the year. You're now the assistant superintendent over instruction. Who do you give credit?
I'm always going to give my first grade teacher the credit. Actually, that was at Bellwood. I tell Dr. Bullard, the principal at Discovery, I was the child that ran up those ramps. I know that's hard to believe, but I still love walking up those ramps when I go there. But Miss Caldwell, who was Miss Baskin at the time, she's now Miss Caldwell. If I see her out now, she still knows me, recognizes me. I just loved her. I'm left-handed. And so in first grade, you learn to really finalize your manuscript and your writing. And so she really took the time to work with me on that. And, I just loved, a lot of teachers wear jewelry, and she always wore a lot of jewelry and little bracelets and bangles. So when I'd go home, I would play school, and I would always be Miss Baskin. So does Miss Baskin know this? I don't know that Miss Baskin, now Miss Caldwell, knows this, but if she watches this, she will.
I hope so. So
She
good
will.
job, Miss Baskin.
Yeah, absolutely.
First grade.
So
So did you go to kindergarten?
I did go to kindergarten
I'm just
at
curious.
Critchlow.
Oh, okay.
At Critchlow building.
All right. So I did Head Start.
Yeah.
So I just was curious. So.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. If you weren't doing this job, and I'm going to say teaching as a profession, you can't say I'll go back to the classroom. What would you be doing?
Well, if I had to do it over again, they always ask, if you have to do it over again, would you do something different? And my answer would be no. I would still do the same thing. But within that, I have always wanted, Lisa, I know you're going to be surprised about this, I have always wanted to open a candy store, old-timey candy store with the little jars that they scoop out, and an ice cream shop, all in one.
I would be your biggest supporter.
And now I have a love of pottery. So I would put pottery in there as well. I could just see that doing really well in the square. Just a small little shop.
Small pottery
little
shop. You're going to put candy in your pottery?
No. Well,
okay.
maybe, but I doubt it. But that's what I'd love to do. Just
you
small.
still have time.
I do have time.
You can do that as your side job.
I just need somebody to kind of back me. You know anybody?
No. I'll try to work for your. I'll work on that. Candy shop, ice cream store, pottery.
All in one.
All in one.
All in one.
Small
Cute
space.
name. Cute
Okay.
name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Work
go.
on that.
I'll get that on my list. Okay.
Miss Baskin may hear me and.
She may back you.
She may. You never know. You never know.
You know what? We'll see. So we'll see if this comes to fruition. Maybe in the next 5 years. 10.
2, 3.
We'll see. All right. Anyway, so going really quick and ending our podcast, I'm going to give you a few quick questions. You ready for it?
I hope so.
All right. What's your go-to coffee order?
At home, McCafe, 2 sweet and lows, whole milk.
Okay. That's very specific. Favorite school event?
I would have to say the teacher talent show is always a huge hit for me. I just love going and seeing all the teachers and their talent outside of teaching.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a teacher talent show.
Well,
I need to be
you're
invited.
I'll make sure you get on the list.
So, mountains, beach, or a staycation?
Oh, gosh. It depends on the time of year, but I can do beach or mountains anytime.
Okay.
Anytime, probably.
Staying at home is not your thing.
I like to stay at home if I have a list of things to do.
Oh, that's not a staycation.
No.
That's chores.
But we have to get them done.
All right. Favorite school lunch?
Oh, gosh. As a kid?
Sure.
Square pizza. The square, old-timey square pizza.
Oh, the ones that...
I can still smell it. Like that smell just kind of stuck with me, but I love the old-timey
I don't know that we
square
have
pizza.
the square pizzas
I
anymore.
don't think
we
we
have
do.
like pizza
Again,
rolls.
we're dating ourselves.
Yeah, but that square pizza was good. Yeah.
It was delicious.
If you had to pick one song, you ready? One
I
song
sure
to describe your day, what would it be?
I'm going to take you back to 1983.
1983, okay.
Can you remember?
I can.
Donna Summer.
Okay. You work hard.
You work hard for the money. You got it. I think we need that as a theme song.
I love that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Can we do it as a walkout?
We should. Instead of a walk up, a walk out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, with that said, thank you for being on my podcast.
I loved it so much.
This is our second podcast. Hopefully we'll have more than 3 listeners.
I hope so.
If not, we'll have a third one anyway. So with me today, Miss Sheri Arnette. Coming up, Dr. Caitlin Bullard with Discovery. We mentioned her a couple of times. I was there yesterday. You went to school there.
She'll be great.
I think so.
I can't wait to hear what her song is.
I can't wait to see what her coffee is. I'm pretty sure it's not Mac Cafe.
With 2 sweet
With 2
loaves
sweeteners
milk.
and whole milk. So thank you, Miss Arnette. We'll be back with Dr. Caitlin Bullard. And we're back. So Dr. Caitlin Bullard is my next guest. Dr. Bullard is the principal at Discovery School and mom of 2.
Right.
In education for, we won't say, but over 15 years.
Right.
And you actually came to Murfreesboro City Schools as principal for Cason Lane Academy,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
I think, if I remember right, and you can correct me, but I think you were interviewing as an assistant principal, and everybody was so
Yes.
impressed that you were offered a principal's job that you didn't even, maybe know about at the time.
That is correct, yes.
So you stayed with us. You went through the whole STEAM process at
Right.
Cason Lane, got them STEAM accredited, and then you left us for a year
Right.
or 2.
But then I came back.
And then you came back, and we're so glad you're back. And now you're principal at Discovery School, an academic magnet school.
Right.
So was that pretty much I left out a husband. So
Yes, there is that one too.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, but that's the synopsis.
So as we're talking through these podcasts, we're talking with different principals, and we were talking, like, everybody talks about what their school community is. So what does make your school community special?
Yeah. Well, I think like so many of the other schools in Murfreesboro, we are such a tight-knit community. Our parents are so close, our students, our community partners, our families. And I think because we're a magnet and we keep our kids for 7 years, our families grow to know each other and our staff so well. But I think alongside that, like you mentioned, that academic magnet piece, that STEAM accreditation, we just have this community where everybody sees themselves as innovators. They're inquisitive, they're collaborative, and you feel that when you walk in. You feel that culture in the building where people are willing to take risks and try really big things, and you feel that with both the staff and the students. And I think it makes it a really special place to teach and learn, in addition to having that tight-knit community feel.
So one thing you mentioned that we forget about is you really do see your kids from kindergarten through 6th grade,
Right.
and that is really cool.
Yes.
I mean, I know there's a lot of schools that do that, but yours is so small that I think the 6th grade teachers pretty much know the kindergarten and vice versa, right?
Everyone really knows everyone. I mean, that's the great thing is, we have 3rd grade teachers that know every kindergartner by name, and you have our kindergarten teachers that have seen every single child come through the building. And so it's so special to just, for a child in a building of 400 to be known by every adult there. It really just creates this family environment.
So what about the house system that you've implemented too? Because that also adds to that, right?
It does. I'm so glad you asked about that. So every student is in a house. They get that from the beginning, and they stay in that same house throughout their entire time at Discovery. And we have 4 houses. But one thing that we implemented last year that I think is really neat is the house buddy system. So starting in kindergarten, they're partnered with an older student. So our kindergartners are partnered with 3rd graders. And they have those buddies all the way up until they become 3rd grade big buddies.
Oh, that's cool.
And so those are friends that are in the same house that they are in, and they wouldn't normally connect with those students. And so it is so special to see those relationships that develop between the students in different grade levels. So much so that our kindergartners this year have started calling, we call it FAM, our Friday afternoon meetings, where they come together in their houses. They've started calling that the buddy meetings because they're so excited to see their big buddies and to get together and have that special time with an older student, and the older students feel the same way.
Oh, that is so cool. Now, when we talk about the house systems, because I didn't introduce that, to me, it's kind of going back to Hogwarts,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So every student is not only in a grade level, but they're in a house.
Yes, they're sorted into a house. There's 4 houses, and each one has a color and a character trait associated with it. And we actually do a lot of service projects through our houses as well. So that's another way that we unite students and staff. We actually just finished one yesterday. Socktober was sponsored by one of our houses, House Eva, and we were able to collect over 2,000 socks that will go to local homeless population. And we were so excited about that. And that just was all of the houses coming together, but was led by one house in particular.
That is really cool. Other than the Socktobers, what's another success story that you're really happy about right now?
Yeah, I'm so excited about the way that we've developed student leadership recently. So we've looked at a lot of different ways to do that over the past. We've participated in the Amazing Shake, and we are really happy about that, but we really wanted to develop leadership across all grade levels. So we have students in every grade who are STEAM ambassadors and who are prepared to speak when adults come and visit their classrooms about what they've been learning. But this year we created a formal STEAM ambassador program for 4th through 6th graders, and they had to interview on a panel of adults. So they had to come in and prepare for this interview. And then we also have a house council, and those house council representatives had to create posters. They had to give speeches in front of the entire student body. And so to see these students step up as leaders and to see these opportunities for them to really take risks, put themselves out there, something that's scary to do even as an adult, right? And to take those risks and to become leaders of the building, and now see those leaders that were selected really taking on those roles and stepping up, and they're leading our assemblies. They are greeting adults when they come in the building and leading tours, and that's just so exciting to see that develop in our kids.
That is so much. And that is really you've got your academic magnet, but you're giving them those 21st century skills.
Right.
So you can not only know it, you can actually speak it. That is so exciting.
Yes.
That would have been something I would have enjoyed. Now, not the math and science, but let me get up and talk to
There's
people.
something there for
There's
everybody,
something
right?
for everyone,
Yes.
even in an academic magnet school.
Yes, for sure.
So I thought you were going to talk about maybe being a blue ribbon school.
Well, there's that too. Yes, there's a lot to be
you kind
excited
of
about.
surprised me. So I'm so excited
Yeah.
that it's exciting that you went straight to the student and I went straight to the sorry, the accolades.
But I think the accolades come because of the work that our students and staff are doing, right? Like when we are nominated for things like Blue Ribbon School, it's because of the day-to-day work that we're doing with our kids and our teachers. And so I agree, Blue Ribbon is so exciting, but I think it all comes because of what we do day to day.
I agree. So STEAM ambassadors, that's a word I'm going to have to get used to. Yeah. So what is a typical school day for you as a principal?
Yeah, I would say there's really not a typical day, right? Every day is a little bit different. You never know what to expect. But every morning I try to start with visibility. I told you earlier, I love being out in the car rider line. I try never miss a day of that. Just seeing the kids come in, their energy, their smiles first thing in the morning, getting those high fives, just the best way to start the tone for the day. And then from there, I really just try to be intentional with my time and my priorities. And I'm so fortunate to have such an amazing team. We collaborate so well together. We have such an empowered group of teacher leaders, and our staff is incredible. And so just knowing that where there are priorities, they're able to pick those up. But I try to spend as much of my day as possible in classrooms. And really that is where I can on the day-to-day. That's where I want to be.
That's always great. And I loved car rider line. I agree.
Yes.
My favorite day of school is the first day of school. We get to open the doors for the kindergartners or just the ones who are just arriving to school.
Yes, yeah. My second favorite would be the day before winter break.
Oh.
When I got to dress up as the principal Elf on the Shelf.
Elf on the Shelf, that was so classic.
Yeah. So car rider line as Elf on the Shelf would be my second favorite.
Are you going to do it again?
Oh, for
absolutely.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, do you come from an education family?
I don't.
Okay, so you are the first of the educators. Yeah. Yep. My mother always thought that everyone should be an educator. So
my daughter may follow in my footsteps, but I'm the first in my family, first generation college student. So yeah.
Wow. So if you could name a teacher, and it could be college or elementary, that really influenced, and you can, if it's two teachers, that's fine, that really influenced your life and really made you where you are today, who would that be?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many, right? But I'd say two. My fourth grade teacher, Miss Durbus. So distinctly remember her, and I don't think there was any one particular thing. Actually, my mom and I were just talking about her recently, just about how she made everybody feel so loved. And I had just changed schools the year before, and I just remember this sense of feeling like I mattered and was so important to her. And even after I left her classroom, I continued to stay connected to her. And that's how I want every student and staff member to feel. And so that was really important to me. And then my second one would be my 8th grade algebra teacher, Mr. LaCrone. I didn't consider myself to be a great math student. I had a lot of anxiety around math, but he stayed every morning. He came in early to tutor, was just committed to making sure every single one of us knew every concept. And so I went from being a student who didn't really like math to I joined the math team.
Oh, wow.
I fell in love with algebra. I ended up teaching math later down the road. And I've even been back to visit him. He now leads a school in Nashville. So I've been back to visit him as an adult. And he just made a tremendous impact, showing me that, just continue to put forth your best effort and strive for growth. And that's still a core value of mine today.
I love that. I love the fact that when I ask this question, everyone tends to go to an elementary teacher first and then move on up. So, because we're an elementary school district, I just want to say to our teachers how much they're influencing the lives. You think you kind of lose them, but you don't. What you're doing today matters.
Absolutely. It lasts so much longer than that year that you have them.
Yes, absolutely. So what's a piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
I think a piece of advice I give my younger self, and I still probably need this advice sometimes today, is you don't have to do it all. So just, the value of listening and learning and being really curious from those around you, whether it's learning from the students, from the parents, from our amazing colleagues, but remembering you don't have to shoulder it all by yourself, and you don't have to have all the answers right away. So
we have to play back this every time.
Yes.
Every year for you.
Yes, please do.
Okay. You don't have to do it by yourself.
Have to do it all.
So you ready for a different strain of questions?
Yeah.
All right, so rapid fire. So give me your first thoughts.
All right.
So if you had a personal theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what would it be?
One of my all-time favorite songs is Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. I think that would just be a joy to hear that every time I walked in a room.
I think that's a great one. So we'll try to get that on your overhead.
All right.
Favorite school lunch?
Oh, the salads this year. The salads are so good. They've been doing the farm to school table or salads, and it's been amazing. So,
what's your favorite school lunch as a child?
The square pizza. I heard Miss Arnette say it earlier, and I was like, yes, absolutely. I can still taste that.
We have to bring back the
square pizza.
Oh my goodness. So, what is your go-to stress reliever?
I know everyone's probably going to say this, but it's being in classrooms. I think either anytime, and you guys have probably seen me do this, anytime I can be in a classroom and sit on the floor with the kids, that's where you're going to find me. And then anytime I can go in and, when the teacher is kind of facilitating with some groups over here and I can go take a group on my own, that's what I want to do. When I can get hands-on with the kids and take a group and teach and give them feedback and work with them, I'll jump in and do that anytime.
I just don't think people realize principals are still teaching.
Yes.
It's not just about the administration.
Yeah. No, the more that I can be in there and keep my fingers in that and work alongside the teachers, the more joy that brings me and the closer it brings me to the work.
I love that. All right. If you could switch places with anyone in your school, you could go outside the school if you want to, but anyone in your school, who would that be and why?
Okay. Gosh, so many options. I think so most of my background was teaching science. So kind of my first thought is 4th or 5th grade science classroom for sure. But I also think it would be great to be in the STEAM lab. They are doing things in there in terms of like coding and robotics. Even in 2nd and 3rd grade, you got to see this yesterday, that I don't know how to do yet. And so every time I walk in there, the kids are teaching me something. And so to be able to take the STEAM role for a day and to get in there and learn from the kids, but also help facilitate with my science background, I think would be so much fun.
You reminded me, so I'm going to go with, not only are you a STEAM accredited school and a Blue Ribbon school, but you're a tree designated school. So when I was there yesterday, they were doing a tree lesson, which is really cool. There's just so many accolades that you're getting, and I'm so proud of you guys for doing it. And again, it is because the kids are there. The students are really leading the way, but your STEAM lab is amazing. I agree. If you could, I'm not supposed to ask you about your talent, am I? Sorry.
Ask the question.
So if you're in a school talent show, what will you be?
Okay, so I think I told you earlier, that was a tough question for me to prep for, but if I were associated with the school talent show, I've decided my talent would be organizing it.
Oh, good answer.
I'm going to be the one creating a spreadsheet of when every act is going on and how long they'll take and when the MC is going to speak. That's going to be my talent.
There you go. Everybody has to have a talent, and that is a talent. It's like someone has to do all the lighting for the theater.
You don't want me singing, but I can make a mean spreadsheet.
Okay. Favorite sport to play?
Oh, okay.
Favorite sport to play?
Okay. I was a swimmer. So that was my favorite sport growing up. Now I love running and weightlifting and cross training. So kind of a little bit of everything.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
My favorite, obviously, anything my kids are doing, right? My daughter plays soccer, so I love watching her. But outside of that, I don't watch a lot of sports. I am in 2 fantasy football leagues right now, solely because I love the competition. So I've been watching more football than usual. So right now I'm watching NFL.
That's funny. Fantasy football. Okay. If you could give one piece of advice to students or your staff, what would that be?
Yeah, I think that's just keep showing up and giving your best every single day, knowing your best is going to look a little bit different day to day. That's one of our core values at our school. It's one of my core values, just striving for personal best and just knowing you're going to learn from mistakes, and that's a safe place to learn and grow and press into that.
So personal best is not perfection.
It's not. It's not the same thing.
I think that's hard for all of us to remember.
It is. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for listening or watching us today with Between the Bells. This is the Murfreesboro City School Podcast. You can find us wherever you download your favorite podcast or watch us on social media with the City of Murfreesboro or Murfreesboro City Schools.